Today we are going to carry on learning about capacity in maths, and it's going to be our last session on capacity. Now, we've done it 2 times already, but I wonder who can remember what the word capacity means? Yes, it's the amount that a container can hold. It's the amount of liquid that a container can hold. It's the amount that fits inside a container. Okay, so we are going to start off this morning doing lots of measuring. Yesterday we measured using jugs, real jugs that we poured liquid in, and we were using real measuring jugs to work out how much liquid was in those jugs. Today we are going to have pictures, and there are going to be pictures of different jugs, and I want your help to read the scales. It's a bit like a number line, but it goes up instead of across, and we're going to read those numbers on the scales to find out how much liquid is in each of these jugs. So, let's have a go. Are we ready? Number 1. We've got our measuring jug, and if we look carefully, our measuring jug is going up in 100. So that's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1000. And when we measure liquid, what do we use? What unit of measurement do we use to measure liquid? Do we say we've got 400 sausages? No. Do we say we've got 400 elephants? No. What do we say? It's 400 what? 400 millilitres. And we write millilitres as an and an O. Millilitres. It's a big word. So, are we ready for our first measurement? We've got our scale. Let's see how much liquid is going in. Or let's have a look. What does our line come up to read this scale? Can anyone tell me? 300. Don't forget to add millilitres. So 300 millilitres. Well done. Okay, you ready for the next one? So our scale is still going up in 100s. Let's find out how much liquid is in this one. Oh, much more this time. Oh, let's look up. Where does the line stop? Here it stops. What number is this? What number do we land on? 700. 700 millilitres. That's a lot of liquid. Can anyone remember how many millilitres are in a litre? 1000. So if it goes all the way up to the top here, there'll be 1 litre of liquid, 1000 millilitres of liquid. Okay, here we go. We're going up in 100s again. What have we got this time? Ooh. What have we landed on? 500. 500 millilitres. Okay, here we go. 100s again. Let's see what we're going to land on. Ooh, a smaller amount of liquid this time. What number is this? 100 millilitres. Very good. Next one. Ooh, much higher this time. So we go past 100, past 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800. And what do we land on? 900. 900 millilitres of liquid. Okay, are we ready? Ooh, so this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because our line hasn't landed on a number. It's landed halfway between 2 numbers. And do you remember yesterday when I spoke about if it comes halfway between 2 numbers, you have to add a 50. So here we've got 100, 200. It's not 300 because that would be too high and the liquid only comes to here. So it's 200 and it's halfway. So halfway between 200 and 300 would be the 50. So 200 and 50. And that's our middle measurement. It's a bit trickier when we get to ones that aren't touching the line. But 250 is our answer for this one. Okay, next girl. Same again. See if you can follow that same rule. So we've gone all the way past and we've got 700. We can't say it's 800 because that would be above the line of water. So it's 700 and something. And if it's halfway between the 700 and the 800, what have I said it is? 750. 750 millilitres. Well done. Oh, okay, here we go. What have we got this time? We go past 100. What does our scale say? 200 millilitres. Fantastic. Okay, next one. We go past 100, past 200, past 300, all the way up, and what do we land on? 800 millilitres. Fantastic. Well done. Okay, I'm going to show you a little game that's all about capacity, and it's very, very similar. And if you want to play this game at home, it's called Capacity Countdown, and it's on ICT Games. And it's going to do a similar thing to what we've just done. It's going to give us a measuring jug, and we're going to find out how much liquid is in it. Now, we can choose how tricky it is. So if you find it hard, find it a bit tricky getting those 50 millilitres between the lines, then we can start with the 100. So if we do it in steps of 100, it will always land on a number. If you're feeling brave and you want to have a go at doing those ones in the middle of the line, then you might have a go at doing the answers in steps of 50 millilitres. So it will go between. If you're wanting an extra challenge, you could have a go at doing it in 10 millilitres. So each of these little lines is 10 millilitres. So for now, we're going to start with 100 millilitres. Let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look. What have we landed on? Ooh, 400. So down here we type 400. And let's give it a check. Yes. Okay, let's look all the way up. Where did our liquid go to? 800 millilitres. So we have to type it down here. 800 millilitres. Oh, let's have a look. All the way up, all the way up. What have we landed on? 800 millilitres again. 800 millilitres. Check. Okay, let's see if we can have a go at a tricky one. So let's try our 50 millilitres this time. So it's come halfway between 0 and 100. On this scale, it's a little bit nicer for us because each of the blue lines in the middle of each of the hundreds is our 50. So when it lands on the blue line, it lands on 50. If we've got this one, it'd be 150. But this scale here is coming between 0 and 100, so it's just 50 millilitres. answers when they're in steps of 10. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit trickier. Okay, so all of these little lines here are 10 millilitres, so we can count up in tens. So we can go 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. That one's 60 millilitres because our scale goes up in tens and we can count in tens until we get there. So 60, 6 and a 0, check. Last one. Oh, okay, here we go. We could start from 0 and count in tens all the way up, but that might take us quite a long time. This time we have to look. We've gone past 100, so we start using our ands now. So we say 100 and then we carry on counting in tens. So we'll start from 100 and we'll count in tens from there. 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170. That's our new measurement. So we write 100, that's our first digit, and 70, and we write the number 70. Let's give it a check. Very good. Wow, you have done some fantastic measuring using a measuring jug and reading the scales. It's much, much trickier because we have to work with those big 100 numbers, but you've done a great job. Now, when we talk about capacity, we're thinking about how much liquid or how much a container can hold. So on the board here, I have got lots of different containers and they're not real sizes, but I want you to imagine we've got the real thing in front of us. And I want us to decide what container here do we think has the biggest, the largest capacity? What container can hold the most liquid? So let's just look at the containers we've got. We've got a jug, a cup, a saucepan, a tin, a bowl, a glass and a bucket. Now thinking about when you've seen those things at home or anywhere else, anytime you've seen them, what container do you think holds the most liquid if we filled it up? Good, I think the same. The bucket. Why do you think the bucket holds the most liquid, has the biggest capacity compared to the rest of the items, the rest of the objects? Well done. Generally, buckets are much, much bigger. If we have a little cup and a big bucket, if we fill the bucket all the way to the top, then we'd have more liquid in the bucket than we would have in the cup. Same with a bowl. Usually our bowls are only about this big, but our buckets can be very big. So we don't know that for sure because you can get different size bowls and different size buckets, but that's just us having a guess based on our pictures here. Well done. Now I have got some potions, and when you're learning about liquid we like to make some magic potions. So I've got different amounts of the different potions at the top. So I've got 2 millilitres of dragon's blood, 5 millilitres of nettle soup, 3 millilitres of snake oil, 7 millilitres of briny broth, 4 millilitres of essence of nightshade, 3 millilitres of slug slime, 6 millilitres of teacher's tears, and 8 millilitres of dawn dew. Now, the important information we need from this is the numbers. So I'm going to circle those for us now so we can see them much, much more clearly. Now challenge to you is I want to make a potion that adds up to 8 millilitres in total. And I want to use 2 ingredients to do it. So what 2 ingredients can I use for my potion that would add up to make 8 millilitres? Have a think. What 2 numbers add up together to make 8 millilitres? Good. Okay, so we could have 2 millilitres of dragon's blood. 2 and what makes 8? Good. And 6. So I'm going to have 2 millilitres of dragon's blood and 6 millilitres of teacher's tears. Very good. Did anyone have a different way to make 8? What different recipes, what different potions could we use? Very, very good. We could use 5 millilitres of nettle soup, well done, and 5 and what makes 8? 3, so we could either use 3 millilitres of snake oil or 3 millilitres of slug slime. I'm going to use 3 millilitres of slug slime. Very good. Okay. Today you have got an activity sheet that has got lots of different measuring jugs on it, and your challenge is to write down the amount of liquid that is in each jug. Also, it'd be great if you had a go at playing the capacity game that we had a go at together. Hope you have lots of fun, and I look forward to seeing some of your work.